What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Akil, living here in Japan since 2004, and this time I got something interesting for you. We're gonna focus on pickup lines. Now, I know a lot of you guys who are either coming to Japan, in Japan, interested in Japanese women. Y'all want to know like how to start things going, start things flowing, and I'm going to try my best to give you guys some hints or some clues or some stuff that I personally use or I've seen other people use that work. As always, this is not love doctor advice, but I'm going to review a video and kind of pull out some pieces that I think will be helpful for you to make a love connection while you're here, or whether you're online, offline, kind of connect with the Japanese girl of interest. Japanese Ammo with Misa gives one really good set of phrases that is fundamental if you're going to want to gain some traction with Japanese women. Stick around to the end. I'll break it down and explain why and how to use it, because there is a little bit of trick to it. Hopefully we can, increase the number of mixed babies in this country and boost the population. Let's do it. So the video I'm going to be looking at this time is Japanese Ammo with Misa. And she's a pretty popular Japanese teaching content creator. But in this video, she gave some funny or really cheesy pickup lines that she thinks might be, effective. Now, me personally, I always have a big, question mark when I hear women try to give men pickup line advice, especially in this situation. I'm not knocking her for doing it, but I just think like, generally speaking, women's perception of what works to get women doesn't really match when a guy tries to do it, because there's a whole lot of intangibles and there's no like guaranteed formula for success. And I'm not trying to promise any of that stuff, but I do have experience talking to Japanese women in Japan, both single, both married. I'm not saying like I'm just trying to pick them up when I'm married. I'm just saying in casual situations, I'm very much comfortable talking to women. So I kind of have a pretty general idea of like what works for me, what I've seen people in my circle do when they're trying to pick up women as well. And I'm not just talking about like, grabbing girls on the street kind of stuff. I'm talking about like you're in a bar, you're in a club, you're in like a dinner party, and kind of lines or things that you can use to kind of, lubricate the atmosphere. Not real lube, but hopefully you can get to the lube later. But that's what I'm going to try and do. So we're going to look at this and then we'll get into it.
ごめん、うるさいよね。何が？心臓の音、君がいるとドキドキしちゃうんだ。Okay, so the guy said, ごめん、うるさいよね。ごめん、うるさいよね。ごめん, sorry. うるさい is loud, noisy. You can say like shut up. And うるさいよね. This combination of the yo particle and the ne particle means that the speaker knows that it's loud, but still asking for the confirmation. So it's like, I know that you think it's loud, but do you think so?
So as always, I'm going to leave a link to the original video, of course, in the description for you guys. And you can, if you want more detail about the meaning of what she's saying and stuff like that, you please check out her content. But what she, of course, she says it's a terrible cheesy line, and I agree. But one thing that I kind of noticed that works really well is, gomen urusai yo ne. Like I'm sorry for being loud. So like, if you, for example, I think I've talked about this in the past, if you were with your friends, y'all having fun or things like that, and you see a girl that's kind of your type, you kind of going over, just if she's in your vicinity and just like apologizing, especially if it's one like you've marked for justice, you kind of like, yo, I'm going in there, or you just want to plant a little seed, sprinkle little seeds in there. You can just say, gomen urusai yo ne, sumimasen, or something like that. Like, I'm sorry for being noisy, or things like that. That will kind of just, again, let them know that even though you guys are having fun and you're being a little bit rowdy, you're still a considerate kind of person, and kind of plant the seeds in your mind that, oh, he's a foreign guy, he can speak Japanese, he kind of understands, has some awareness of other people, and kind of changes that Japanese woman's image of you. Because generally speaking, if you're a foreign guy and you're hanging out with your friends, automatically, unless she's a gaijin hunter, automatically will kind of have a little bit like standoffish kind of image of you, like, whoa, there's a foreign guy. It's like a tiger's in the restaurant, like, oh my gosh, it's over there, I'm not going to make eye contact with it, kind of thing, unless they're, after the drinks start flowing, things can kind of change. But generally speaking, that's kind of, you will get kind of a standoffish kind of reaction. But showing that you are kind of aware of the social norms here in Japan, and showing that you're showing your sensitive side, kind of lowers the guard a little bit, and allows the other stuff to flow in a little bit, the good stuff to flow in. So definitely use that if you want to. Just try it and see what happens. Again, don't just be going around to everybody. You kind of can only use it like one time in one place. After a while, if you're really, after you've kind of settled in, you're really comfortable, then I'd say, yeah, it's a good one to use.
君がいるとドキドキしちゃうんだ。君がいるとドキドキしちゃうんだ。When you hear, my heart pounds. ドキドキする means the heart pounds, the heart beats so fast. It basically means that you're nervous. 緊張する means I'm nervous. Like you can say, 本当に緊張する I'm so nervous. But you can also say, ドキドキする to mean I'm nervous. You could use this ドキドキする when you are just nervous because like you have to give a speech. But usually when someone says ドキドキする, it means that the person feels butterflies in their stomach. Like you can say, 金木がかっこよくてドキドキする. Kaneki is so cool that he gives me butterflies. ドキドキしちゃう. This ちゃう means to do something unintentionally, usually. So, like, my heart pounds unintentionally. So, I can't control it.
So, doki doki suru and kincho suru are really, really important words to use. Basically, you use those when you are, of course, nervous, like she explained, being with someone. And so it can kind of be a sign that, you've got butterflies in your stomach because you kind of like that person so much. Again, a lot of stuff in Japan is spoken indirectly. Now, I don't know, I remember I told this story a long time ago on some of the content I did. I actually used this really incorrectly one time because I was already married, like, I was kind of settled into my life. My wife and I were still living in central Tokyo, and there was this local supermarket that we went to. And I remember, like, I go there, buy some, like, craft beer sometimes on my way home. And, like, one of the staff members, she was there, and, I was in my maybe late 20s, early 30s at that time. I think early 30s at that time. And, she was like early 30s, late 20s maybe. And, she was cute, and we used to smile and stuff like that, whatever. And like one time we were, I was, I was, we were getting ready for a house party, and I went there to get some ingredients, and she was the only one there. And I think I was buying some lemons. I was making like a lemon tart pie for some of the people that were coming. And then I put all my ingredients in the register, and I was like, mo kincho shite like, I'm kind of nervous. And she was like, why are you nervous? And I was like, oh, I gotta make this lemon pie because people are coming over. And her face, she's just like she gave me like the meanest, not mean, but just like this mom, like kind of look, like disappointed look. And I was kind of like, why do you do that? And then I asked one of my students who was my friend, I think the next week, and he was like, yeah, you messed up. She thought you were saying like you were nervous because you were alone with her and you like her, but just because you were making the pie. I was just completely oblivious. I was like, yeah, man, this pie, I've never made it before, and in Japanese. And she was just like, she just gave me like the meanest look from across the register. So use it carefully. Don't use it on the first date. Maybe I'd say maybe use it on the second date if you're going out with someone, and just suddenly, if there's an awkward silence or something like that, you can throw that out there. If you're really feeling it, to kind of let the person know, and then maybe you don't need to make it cheesy, but just if she asks, of course she's gonna ask why, and just you can just look at her and like, no reason, or I don't want to say, or something like it's a secret, or something like that. You don't need to obviously say because I'm with you. That's a little bit too dramatic, a little bit too cheesy. But again, she's kind of hamming it up a little bit. You could also use it for I think online contact DMs, Hello Talk or something like that. If you really hit it off with a girl on there. Side note, I was talking to someone I know. We were talking about Hello Talk, and apparently, yeah, again, I don't know. Hello Talk seems to be one of the ways to line up somebody you want to kick it with before you come to Japan. So if you are coming to Japan in the near future, I would recommend you do that. try to get a language exchange going, practice your English. Of course, try and practice your Japanese. Of course, try and do that. But if it's someone your type or you are that person's type, the door is open for you guys kind of being able to get together. Again, it's not going to be like a kind of a Tinder one night kind of thing. It would be more of like a few dates and stuff like that and see where it leads. But, it would be an opportunity for you to get some like face to face time with Japanese women before you come here. Just an idea. Someone gave it to me. I'd say go for it. I would do it if I was going to come to Japan.
あ、目が。どうしたの？いや、ミサの笑顔が眩しすぎて、目が見えなくなっちゃったんだ。
So again, this pickup line I don't say use at all, but you can take a little piece out of it, especially talking about egao, like your smiling face. So you can like I would probably say egao ga ii ne, or something like that. Like oh you have a really good smiling face. Yeah, something like that. Probably again use your Japanese teacher or something like that is probably, but something saying you have a good smiling face or I like your smiling face or something like that. Depending on the situation, depending on the level. Even I'd say in these, you can even do it in English. Like, you have a really good smile. I like your smile. Is okay if your Japanese isn't really so good. Again, it's a little bit tough for me to imagine like a hypothetical situation using this, but because it just kind of flows naturally. But saying like you're something directly is a little bit embarrassing if you go too hard at it. So just in a roundabout kind of way, like interesting, nice, I like is more than enough. Again, and this is one of the situations where the translation in English has equal impact. So you don't need to be dramatic. You can say something really simple and understated, and it still has like a really drop the draws impact.
The pickup line that my friends and I often heard was 今一人今 right now 一人 alone duh like 見たらわかるでしょ but they're stupid so you can't really take it seriously anyway 今一人 like are you on your own, which might sound quite scary if you are not in Japan if somebody asks that, but in Japan it's pretty safe, so then people don't think it sounds that scary. And once they confirm that you're alone, I mean, you can just ignore as well. But if you're like, hi, they often want to take you out for dinner. Yeah, it's true. Drinking or dinner, usually dinner. They would usually say something like, 美味しいレストラン知ってるんだ. Like, I know a good place to eat. 食べに行かない? Do you wanna go eat? 食べに行かない? 食べる to eat. 食べに行く to go eat. 食べに行かない? Nai means negation, but if you use it like a question, why don't we, like, do you want to? So, コーヒーでも飲まない means do you want to grab a coffee? So it's like that. 食べに行かない? Do you want to grab some food with me? Or they might ask you, 彼氏いる? Do you have a boyfriend? 彼氏いる? And if you say, いません. No, I don't. By the way, they usually speak informally. Rather than 彼氏いますか? They often say 彼氏いる? To sound like a player.
So I think this is something interesting. Again, the whole grabbing chicks on the street, I don't really recommend you do that. But if you notice the question, the person asked a really direct question, and I would say that is something I would recommend. Like if you're in a bar or club or something like that, not asking like are you alone, but like maybe for example, if you can kind of guess what the cocktail is, or if she's with a friend, like are you sisters? If you know the Japanese word, are you friends, tomodachi, or something like that? Like those kind of things are really good openers that kind of will allow like or something like that. Again, if it's something obviously cheesy, obviously like a pickup line, something it seems like you used before, it might not be as effective depending on you, depending on your kind of skill level with women or experience with Japanese women or your experience speaking Japanese. But again, it works as well. Again, you can probably use it in English a lot of times, especially if you are, again, I recommend using self-analysis. If you are more experienced with women, you're kind of seem like you're their type. You might get some vibes. Then you might just kind of open up with English. You don't even need Japanese, but sisters, because most Japanese women, they've everyone's taken English in school, so one or two words they know. So like beer or cocktail or something delicious. Is that delicious? Or so, depends on what you're doing, the situation. I'm just giving general kind of stuff. But suddenly, one word question, about something in their near vicinity, or the song or something like that. Again, I always say Ed Sheridan, but like, Ed Sheridan or something, something like that. Like, oh yeah, or whatever. I don't know who they listen to, but trust me, that I think is a really low hurdle entry point if you're trying to talk to girls in a contained situation. I don't really recommend using this on the street. I don't really do that on the street. I've never done that really on the street. So, except when I first got to Japan, which a lot of you guys are first getting to Japan. So this is me, old man talking. But just me personally, I would say you might be more successful in a contained environment like a bar, or a club, or a restaurant, where it's conducive to those kind of situations.
But sometimes speaking formally actually works better because girls take guys more seriously that way when they speak more formally. Anyway, you can say 彼氏いる? And if the girl says いない, いません, I don't, then you can be like いないの? ありえない. You don't? Unbelievable. And if you want to push harder, you can say こんなに可愛いのに. But look at you, you're so pretty. こんなに可愛いのに. I have a lesson on this, のに. のに can mean like despite. So despite being this cute, but you're so pretty though. こんなに可愛いのに. So Japanese girls really like it when they are called 可愛い. Okay? So you can start picking up a girl by saying 可愛いね. You're pretty. But some girls prefer 綺麗だね. You're beautiful. I personally really like 可愛い. Someone who tries to be more like sophisticated and, stylish, elegant, they might prefer 綺麗だね. Okay? So you can say 綺麗だね. モデルさん? This is very common too. Okay? A lot of girls have fallen for this trick. So モデルさん means are you a model? Girls like to be told that they look like a model. Okay? So モデルさん we often put this さん. モデルさん are you a model? But what works better usually is complimenting on their clothes, outfits. So you can say その服かわいいね. その服似合ってるね. That outfit looks good on you.
This is probably the best thing she said so far in this video. I completely agree with this part. Like, giving kire, kawaii, oshare, those three words I think are gold, but not just your whole body, like you are cute. Hair, accessories, clothes, glasses, those kind of small things. Because remember, Japan is a really indirect society. So or really indirect language. So if you're saying like your earrings are really, really, cute, like it means like I'm talking about all of you is really, really cute or really, really pretty. Your hair is really, really pretty. She's gonna internalize it as you think she is a really beautiful person. Like, again, that in the first 5 minutes or something like that at like a kind of bar or a club, if you can kind of continue to keep the conversation going for a few minutes, that will build momentum in the conversation 100%. If you're reasonably in her realm or her type, 100%. So again, her advice is a mixed bag. She says it in herself, like they are cheesy lines, but definitely the last one is something that, if used properly, I think is gold, is fundamental to your Ronnie romance repertoire of phrases that you use. So here's another video. Check it out, and I'll holler at you soon.